Hello guys, so in this video we'll be looking at the sense of smell, in particular the structure of the nose. So as we can see, the nose is the sensory organ for smell. Alright, so before we proceed, let's look into certain things we have. Alright, so this part is your nose. Alright, this part here is what do we call your nasal cavity. Alright, this is where the empty spot in your nose. So as you can see, in the upper part of the nasal cavity right here, alright, we have a lot of sensory cells. Alright, and these sensory cells help us to detect any, we say, chemical particles around the air. So these chemical particles can be in the form like, perfume, food, or any other flowers, anything that tastes nice, or even anything that tastes bad. So these chemical particles enter the nose through here. Alright, the chemicals in there enter the nose and they are dissolved right here at the mucus lining. Alright, mucus lining is a slimy, watery stuff you find in your nose. Alright, so these chemical particles, this one will dissolve in the mucus lining, and then it would allow our sensory cells to detect what actually is the chemical. The dissolved chemical particles will then stimulate our sensory cells and send out nerve impulses to the brain. So the whole pathway would be chemical particles going through your nose. Alright, that's step one. It dissolves at the mucus lining, step two, and then it then reaches your sensory cells, which will then generate nerve impulses to your brain, and your brain will tell you what smell is it. Oh, surprising. Well, the best part of this is that all your smell receptors are located at the roof of the nasal cavity, right here. Alright, we say all your smell receptors, they're all located at the roof of the nasal cavity. So this actually enables maximum exposure to the air that enters the nasal cavity, which means when air comes in, it will all then go to the mucus lining over here, and it allows your smell receptors to have the most exposure to the chemical particles. Not only that, all the smell receptors are covered, with what do we call a moist mucus lining. Alright, keyword moist. Alright, because the mucus, the green stuff you have in your nose, is moist, which is actually wet. So this moist mucus helps to dissolve, your chemical particles, which then allows your smell receptors to easily detect what smell it is. However, sometimes, you can't smell stuff when you have a cold. Alright, in Malaysia summer, when you have cold, you have too much mucus. Alright, too much mucus. So when the mucus is too much, or we say too thick, it prevents your chemical particles from stimulating your smell receptors, which means that you need to have you need a lot of chemical particles dissolved. So when you have flu, in order to smell something, you need to sniff very hard, like smells good. So alright, this is all for this video. Coming up next, the sense of taste. Stay tuned.